Hello. In this episode of Aswatona podcast, you will get to meet May Khaled. May is a podcaster from Egypt who strongly believes that podcast is a medium to spread people's unheard voices. Let's hear from her.
I'm actually in my 30s, and what I do right now is I work in business and startup in a part-time role, and I have joined some ventures related to audio and voice because I've tried for the last couple of years to invest more time in the creative industry through writing and through audio productions, and I have been published a blog where I write many articles about different articles, and also I've been also podcasting through storytelling. And here I am. That's what I'm doing right now in life, and what I'm doing, and also in the business side or the career side. I'm from a place in Egypt called the Delta region in Egypt, which is it's very close to the capital city, but also it's very isolated somehow, because in this place, many governorates of Egypt centralize around the Nile, very small cities and towns. But what you miss inside such cities and environments is the opportunity, because Egypt is known for being very centralized in the capital city. In the beginning of my 20s, I felt this kind of the missing opportunities. That's why I left my hometown and I traveled to Cairo to actually run after the opportunities and find many opportunities and the exposure that I look forward to find in my youth in the central city of Cairo. I have produced some episodes that have documented my experience and the experience that people like me have also shared throughout the years. One of these experiences was very personal, where I shared my relationship with religion, being grown up on a village, and we have something called Kuttab, which is a small circle for people to learn Quran. And many years later, when I traveled to the south of Egypt, in Shalatin area, I met another example for it called Al-Khulwa, which is also another space for people to learn Quran and more about religion. And 20 years later, when I visited South Egypt, and I had my trauma coming back to me, because I had so much violence during learning Quran when I was a little kid. So I've tried, and how this relationship developed over the years, and I gained my relationship back with Quran. That's the thing that I was so sensitive for me to tell out loud in an audio file, and to give it to the people, to share it with the people. It was coming from a very vulnerable place, but I know for a fact that people who lived in a village and went to Al-Kuttab, they will understand what I'm talking about, and how your relationship with your book with your religion can be very, very disturbed with the practices with the teachers who are actually teaching it in a very patriarchal way, or maybe in a violent way, or maybe you're not educated or maybe trained enough. So basically, the whole, as you know, here in the Middle East, the podcast industry is still untapped potential for the opportunities. I think seeing many networks that have been in the region doing an amazing work, and of course with the best quality of production ever, and we listen to them and we listen to their productions. I feel inspired. I get to learn a lot as someone who's also a consumer and someone who listens to a lot of podcasts. I get to learn from the people who produce a lot, right? But I feel also this industry is not celebrated enough yet. It's not it doesn't have a big network around it. I learned everything about podcasting through practicing. So I have to rent a studio, for example, because my city is very crowded and all the time you hear the traffic. Another challenge is if I have a grant, I can do a better quality of production. One of the most popular podcasts here is all about sarcasm. It's all about something that people love, entertainment. They don't have to think a lot. They wanna they still have this relationship with radio where like something on the background they don't have to give attention to, but sometimes they laugh, sometimes they get entertained, sometimes they listen to a good music, you know what I mean. One of the best, يعني you'll find it always on the number one on the charts of the podcast, is a very sarcastic podcast. The very niche podcasts, like the niche podcasts that are talking about, like, for example, environment, they talk about women, they have a specific audience. Not everyone is listening to them. That's for Egypt. For the region itself, I see amazing production coming from Arab region. I'm so proud of the productions that have been coming from South, and also that came from Kernan cultures and other also networks. Honestly, they are doing amazing. I believe interviews are like the best common thing here, in my opinion. People get to interview someone, and يعني they don't have to worry about anything else, because like it's all depending on the persona or maybe the brand of the whoever you are interviewing. Those are the people that are attracting me to listen to the episode. For example, Thamania, one of the most well listened, you will find it also on the top charts, podcast, Finjan is one of the podcasts that always people get to listen to it, because it's an interview where like the interviewer intrude a little bit and you listen to the rest of the episode, like more than 1 hour and a half, for the persona that he got to the interview, and he gets the best, most famous people, and also very influential person. It's really interesting how people are interacting with such kind of interviews. You get to learn from different people. Interviews will come definitely number one, and the second one will come the solo podcasters. And in such format, I would prefer like shorter time, or like people drop what they have in their mind, or maybe experience they want to share, or maybe a book they read, they want to share a reflection. Regardless the fact what it is, that's something that it needs, from my opinion. I value when the people have an amazing voice, because I'm gonna listen to them and them only for, like, for example, 30 minutes, and they have to be very attractive, and they have an amazing content. We have an amazing opportunity that came to our region in the past few years, where like people got to know that they have a new medium to express themselves. And that's why we can see an increase of the productions of the podcasts that have been coming from the region for the past few years. I'm so happy when I see someone who's producing a podcast, regardless of the production, regardless of the quality. I see it as a free medium for people to express themselves, and that's what we need to do. It's something outside the algorithm and the social media agenda, where we can just like say whatever we have in mind and express ourselves in different ways. And what I really hope to do is having a good culture around it and a good environment around it. That's what I'm looking forward to find in the upcoming years, maybe, so we can just benefit each other and create really good potential and exposure from these projects. Thank you so much also for the nice, amazing questions.